This is Wes. Um, I'm coming in solo today, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. This is the Underground Geek Shack, and today I'm gonna be talking about a manga that I recently just finished reading called. It's only volume one, so it's not like I've read the whole everything. Got caught up with this manga or anything. This is literally just volume one, which covers like 7 chapters. But the manga that I want to be talking about today is Sakamoto Days. And Sakamoto Days is, this manga is a trip. It's good. It's action packed. It's by Yuto Suzuki. And you're probably wondering, what is Sakamoto Days about? So, Taro Sakamoto was once a legendary hitman, considered the greatest of all time. Bad guys feared him, and assassins revered him. But then one day, he quit, got married, and had a baby. He's now living a quiet life as the owner of a neighborhood store, but how long can Sakamoto enjoy his days of retirement before his past catches up with him? So, Sakamoto Days, it's cool because with the way how this manga, instead of doing it by chapters, it does it by days, which is really cool. And it starts off with showing off Sakamoto as this thin dude, and then it shows that he's out of shape and everything due to him having a family, and it's really good. And the action, man, the way Yuto Suzuki draws the action is it's like I'm looking at a film. It's not it's like, like when you're watching an old kung fu film, right? For example, think of when you're watching a Jackie Chan movie, right? Or John Wick. Sometimes the camera is stationary and you watch you watch all the movements and everything, the punches, the kicks, and everything is you see it going, you see the movements flying and everything. It's not like cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, and then the enemy just somehow laid out on the ground. You actually see all the movement in its entirety flow together. There's the first person that we get introduced to besides Taro Sakamoto is this dude named Shin, who's a clairvoyant, right? And so he can read minds, and it's cool because so Shin is being told by the higher ups of the assassin organization, hey, we need you to go take out Sakamoto. And so Shin goes over, and he's like, I want to pay my respects. And first he tries to talk Sakamoto up and be like, hey, just come back, come back, you'll be fine, come back. And Sakamoto's like, no, I'm good. And the funny thing is, Sakamoto doesn't really talk that much, but he talks and everything. He's like, yeah, I'm not coming back, I'm good, my life is good. And Shin walks away, and he says, okay, cool. So Shin walks out, and then he comes back, and then he's like, he comes back, and it's an all-out fight in the store. Sakamoto is over here using appliances from his store. He used so Shin came in, right? And he goes, Sakamoto, I have to give my regards to you. I gotta take you out. So Shin takes out a pistol, and he has the silencer on it. And so he goes to fire. And so he fires the pistol, and the bullet goes out. Sakamoto blocks the bullet with a cough drop. You heard me right. A cough drop. The Ricola cough drop. Yeah, that kind of cough drop. And so he spits out the cough drop and deflects the bullet. And then Shin has to get around the corner to since he can read minds, he's trying to read Sakamoto's mind to get a leg up on what's going on. And it's a point where Sakamoto just jumps over the counter and just wails on Shin, and he literally knocks his lights out. He also uses a rubber band, and a stapler or something, and like he's just like using household appliances to take out people, and so takes out Shin, right? And then Shin goes back to the assassin organization that he was with, and like the boss for him is like, hey, yo, did you take out Sakamoto? And Shin's like, I couldn't. There was no way for me to do. And then the boss is like, yeah, you're weak. I'm gonna have to take you out myself. And then Sakamoto shows up because like at first Shin's like, no, you can't fight him. He's a totally different beast. He's totally different from the Sakamoto we all remember. And so they're like, nah, we gonna take you out. You a coward. So they try and take out Shin. And then Sakamoto shows up and saves Shin. And literally when he helps Shin, he's taking out all these different people with non-lethal techniques. He ain't killing them. He has a non-killing rule. And he saves Shin, and he literally gives Shin a job at the convenience store that he works at. He literally gives him a job, which I find is so funny because he goes, hey, yo, yeah, now you work for me now. You can come work for me. I got you, fam. And then, so we got him, and then we get introduced to another person, because it's like, we get Shin, right? So Shin's the first person that's added on to the family of Sakamoto. So you got Sakamoto, you got his wife, and then you got Hina, his daughter. And so Shin's the first person that we actually get to have on Team Sakamoto outside of his family. And then the next person we get is Lu Zhaotang. Like, they go to China to just get some pork buns. They go to China to get pork buns. That's all that they're there for, just to restock the store. And like a dude comes flying out of a window, right? He comes flying out of a window, and then Lu comes running past, and they're like, get her, and they're like, the dudes are like, get her, don't let her get away, she's part of the triad, and so like, they're trying to get to her, and then they smush the pork buns that Sakamoto and Shin were trying to, get, and so Shin and Sakamoto chase after Lu, and so they're trying to help her, and then we get this thing about there's these two assassins that are after Lu called Bacho and Sun Hee. They're brothers, but they do an art kind of thing. Like they use the corpses of the enemies that they take out as like art material, which is really weird. But alright, to each is their own. And so they sit here. They do a fight there, and then so Sakamoto is like, prioritizing the store is top priority, and they start going in, they're fighting the assassins and everything, they're fighting the brothers, and literally when they're fighting the brothers, Sakamoto comes in, like they're like, first they're fighting on this rooftop, then the rooftop caves in, then they're inside the store, this like other store, and then out of nowhere Sakamoto takes a fridge and slams it down on Bancho. And I'm like, yo, like this dude said you need to cool off, and just bam, like, yo. And it's cool because like, Lu uses Tai Chi, and so that's interesting. She uses Tai Chi and everything, and then there's a moment where like, because they apparently Lu's trying to she has this key that is a secret to her that like that unlocks something that her parents had entrusted to her, and her parents are already gone, are already off out of the picture. They're dusted, and the people of the Dondenkai, or the organization that are with Sun Hee and Bancho, they're chasing after Lu, and so she has this key, and Shin's like, why have the key? Why not just give it to them? And she's like, no, my parents, entrusted this key to me and everything. And, so they get to this spot where this vault type thing, and they literally still have to take on the two assassins, right? And so they take them out and everything, and it's cool because, when they get to the vault, they don't know who Lu is, and so Shin ends up calling her China, And she's like, my name isn't China, my name is Lu Xiaotang. And, so she opens the vault, and the thing that's in the vault is all the treasure and heirlooms from the the Xiaotang family. And, from the first person, that was weird, from the first person all the way down to Lu. And, so it was cool. It's cool because then, like, right after that, Lou is the second person who joins the family. And so I'm excited because now, like, we getting into this next arc, which I think is called the Sugar Park arc or something like that. And they go, we also meet this dude named Nagumo, who is also an assassin who worked with Sakamoto in this thing called the Order. And with and he's a shapeshifter, so he can turn into anyone else. And so when we first meet him, it looks like Sakamoto, and so he's telling Lu and Shin about, hey, you guys need to be getting back to work and stuff like that. And you're like, wait a minute, this dude is a lot more talkative than usual. And when Sakamoto walks in, and he's being held at gunpoint, and Sakamoto's holding a freaking box cutter up to Magumo, but you think it's an imposter, so it's like gunpoint versus box cutter, and Magumo literally asked Sakamoto, "Do you really?" Because it's funny because he's just catching up and everything. He goes, "Do you really think you'd be able to take out all of us assassins with a no killing rule? And there's a bounty on your head too." For I think it was like 1 billion or 5 billion yen, something around there. But it's a big bounty that's on his head. And literally, one of the dudes that come in is a pizza delivery dude, and he's an assassin. And he gets taken out so quickly. And then Magumo leaves, and then everyone's like, all right, we gotta, stay on our toes. We'll do our regular routine. It'll be a family. It'll be, the family will leave. We'll do our job, and everything will be normal. And then, Sakamoto's wife comes up and tells Sakamoto and everyone else, oh, hey, are you guys prepared for tomorrow? And they're like, what's going on tomorrow? And they're like, oh, we're all taking a family trip to Sugar Park tomorrow. And they're like, oh no, that's not good. So now they gotta go to this public place, with a bunch of people out in the open in a theme park of all places, while also trying to fend off assassins. And there was one, so they get to the park, right? And so they get to the point where Shin can, read the thoughts of in a 2 meter or 30 meter somewhere in a large radius of people. And there's one assassin who comes in who's disguised as a janitor. And so he comes in, and Sakamoto takes a pen, doesn't even look at the dude behind him, and then just stabs him. Just takes the pen and just whoosh. And he avoided all the arteries and everything, so the dude's gonna live. And you're like, what the heck? Sakamoto doesn't need any protection. And then this other assassin is like, oh, so these people are dangerous. I gotta be aware of this dude named Shin who can read minds. And they get onto a roller coaster, and this dude gets on with them without Shin or Lu knowing. And then when they're on the roller coaster, and Lu starts freaking out because a couple of rows in front, because Lu is in the back. Lu and Shin are on the back of the roller coaster. Mr. Sakamoto is probably in the middle or toward the front, more toward the front of the roller coaster where his wife and Hana are. And they're like, Luke's like, the dude with the silver hair is a little bit suspicious over here. And the ride's starting, and so Sakamoto's thinking, he's like, hey, yo, Sakamoto, I let one get past, I'm sorry. And Sakamoto's like, where? He's like, 4 rows back from you, or something like that. And then, Shin is literally trying to take off the harness and everything while the roller coaster's in motion. And so he literally takes off the harness and literally gets out of the roller coaster while it's moving, and then there's a loop-de-loop coming up, so he gets out while it's during the loop-de-loop, so that he grabs the dude and unhooks him. He goes, "Hey, come here with me for a little bit." Well, yeah, and they just roll off the roller coaster onto the next track, and literally they are about to box. They are about to go at it, and then that's where I left off. But I am so psyched to pick up the next volume of this manga, or shoot, I'll even just read it on my Shonen Jump app if I need to. But let me know what y'all think, and if you've read Sakamoto Days, let me know what you think about it. Do you think I should continue to read Sakamoto Days? And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because this is also probably going to go up on YouTube. That's it from me. Thanks for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed your visit to the Underground Geek Shack. See you guys.